Hey folks, as per usual, I've just been watching YouTube. Now, I've heard this phrase before, but I never really took much notice of it. PUA. And it was bugging me for a little bit because I kept on hearing it being mentioned. So I thought to myself, well, let me look into this PUA and see what actually this PUA business is all about. Turns out that it means pickup artist. Now, I found this quite amusing when I found out, and I looked into it a little bit more. And I mean, excuse me for living underneath a rock. I mean, I'm a old boy, so you obviously, you youngsters do things different to my generation. Now, I mean, I didn't know that there were pickup artists that held seminars on how to pick up women. I mean, yeah, I knew of dating coaches and stuff like that, but I didn't really take it seriously. I didn't know it was an actual thing. I didn't really realize there's money to be made in this. Well, maybe I'm doing the wrong job here. Anyway, so what's my point? What's the point I'm making with all of this? What I've discovered is, apart from giving me your thoughts on the PUA community, pickup artist, considering the lifestyle that I've had, without sounding big-headed and without coming across as boastful, and that's not my intentions. Now, I mean, I've lived a pretty wild lifestyle, and I can safely say some of the things I have experienced and seen, you know, I've probably had more fun than a lot of men will have in their entire lives, right? And considering all that, I do not class myself in no way, shape or form as a pickup artist. No way in hell I would class myself as a pickup artist. I've always looked at the whole thing of dating women, approaching women, getting women. It's fairly simple. Now, I had to learn some hard lessons as a teenager. I mean, I started out as a naive, nice guy. You know, I thought that, you know, you treat a woman nice and she would like you. And I had to find out that you know, that they weren't into that kind of thing at all. They looked at that as quite wet and boring. So I never had it in me to be a complete bastard. I never had it in me to be a complete bad boy. But I developed a skill to be somewhere in the middle. I developed the skill to be a cheeky, nice guy that at the same time couldn't give a fuck, but still be a nice guy. But I had an edge that said, well, fuck you. Either we are happening or we're not happening. And if you can't make your mind up, well, then I'm going to move on to the next person who will make their mind up. And that's where I peaked, and that's where the sort of the guy I am today, more or less. So this pickup artist thing, I find it quite intriguing that so much effort is being made to actually date a woman with all these techniques, all these subliminal messages, like for example, you approach a hot woman, she knows that she's hot, so in order to stand up from the other guys, you got to take your attention away from her hotness and make her feel inadequate. Wow. I mean, like, each their own, whatever floats your boat. You know, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you for that. If that works for you, good for you, and all power to you. But for me, especially at this age, you know, it's like I said before, you're either into me or you're not into me. And if I'm not your type, well, so what? Honestly, I couldn't give a shit, because I've lived long enough to know that I will be someone else's type. It's just a matter of time, and I will strike gold. So, you know, my ego, sometimes it works against you, but most of the time my ego works for me, because it prevents me from making a fool of myself. I may really fancy the pants off a woman, really. And once I declare that to her, the ball is in her court. And the way how I am, I'm not going to put 110% of effort for 10% response. And if I see that I'm getting very little one word replies, I give her 3 questions. I'll ask her name. I'll ask her which area she lives. And I'll ask her what does she do for a living. By the time I get to the 3rd question, if she hasn't asked me one question about myself, it's goodbye and good night. It really is. You know, I'm not gonna stand there begging and play this hard to get bullshit. You're either interested or you're not interested. And as for this pickup artist business, well, I haven't quite thought about this. Whether, you know, well, you tell me what you think. I mean, like, I've only just really discovered this pickup artist community, and it's quite embarrassing that I actually didn't even know they even exist. Pickup artist community. Yeah, I knew of dating coaches. Yeah, you know, guys who would help guys who maybe lack confidence, and they like the film with Will Smith. I can't remember the name of the film, but he was like a dating coach. But I thought that was as far as it went. I didn't actually think there was an actual community of pickup artists. Wow. You live and you learn, eh? You live and you learn. Oh, just one thing I need to say very quickly. Now, as everyone knows, the majority of the audience on YouTube is a young crowd. That's what I would class as. And anyone under 35 to me is young. So it's mostly a young audience. And I notice the emphasis with your young guys tend to be on the external. It tend to be mostly how hot the woman is. Is the woman hot? Is the woman hot? Now, don't get me wrong. I admire beauty just as much as the next man. I have to be attracted to the woman, and I must find her somewhat attractive in order for me to approach her. But at this age, that's not the be all and end all. It really isn't. Because at the end of the day, if it turns out that I come to the conclusion that the woman's a cunt, her looks is not going to save her. No amount of looks is going to save her from me thinking that she's a cunt and me not wanting to be with her. Really, it really is that simple. So basically, what I gave a shit about when I was 25, by the time I got to 45, I couldn't give a flying fuck. You know, I don't really give a monkey's what you think of who I'm fucking, because when I'm getting my dick sucked, you are the last person in my mind. It really is. It really, that's the way it is. So my values have changed, and probably for a lot of you guys, that's something to come. But one thing I have to say to you guys, you young guys, enjoy your penis while you have it, because some of you know that 2017 I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I had to have my prostate removed. And if you don't already know, one of the symptoms of having your prostate removed, it takes approximately 18 months to 2 years, maybe even more, for you to naturally get your erection back without the aid of pills or any sort of devices. And I'm telling you now, once you've had that operation, it takes about 6 months before you start seeing any life down there. And when I mean seeing any life down there, I had my operation in November 2017, and let's roll a month later, or even 2 months later. A woman could have been sucking on my dick for 10 hours, and the needle would have still stayed on 0. You may feel the urges, but you look down there, nothing's happened. And I'm happy to say that where we're now, 2019, he's coming back. He's coming back to life. There's life at the end of the tunnel. Like there's still a ways to go, but I'm over the halfway mark. But enjoy your dick while you have it. Really, really, because you know, my only saving grace is because I've never been a porn actor, but I have been somewhat involved in the sex industry, but not in porn. So I was always aware of the vacuum pump. Now, had I not been involved in the sex industry to a degree, and I had the prostatectomy operation, and I didn't know about the vacuum pump, I could have been well on the road to depression, because when you can't get your dick up and you don't know how to freaking get it up, and you've got a be it a wife or a casual partner, and you can't get your dick up, I would not wish that on any man. But luckily I knew about the vacuum pump. So because I had the vacuum pump, oh, actually, I shall show you here. Okay, now. Vacuum pump. Hey, always carry it in my van, because you never know, you never know when you're going to need it. All right. So here's the vacuum pump. Here we go. All right. This thing here has been my life savior, because it meant I could get some, after my operation. At least I was able to get some. So without that vacuum pump, boy, life could have been very, very, very different. So what I'm saying to you young guys, enjoy it while you got it. And because this video that I was watching with this PUA guy, he's refraining from sex. He wants to go some kind of spiritual walk and so forth, whatever, some enlightenment, which is, I mean, take it or leave it. I'm not going to criticize him for that, but I would say, it's good to have sex with the right woman for the right reasons, but do not underestimate, do not downplay what you have, because when it's gone, boy, you would know about it when it's gone. Gee, you would know about it when it's gone. But like I said, in my case, I was one of the lucky ones, because I know there's a lot of guys in my situation who are very depressed, and even some of them partly suicidal. So there we go. We'll leave it on that note. Okay, thank you very much, and let me know what you think of the PUA community. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.